Hey, it's Joe. It's Tuesday. Normally I do Ask Joe on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Central. Canceling today because it's my wife's birthday and we're gonna go to the pool. I got my swim trunks on and everything. But before I do, I wanna share something with you, get your brain thinking in the right direction, because this week we're talking all about production. Production meaning not just how do I record, but what do I record? How do I make this song super interesting and engaging? And one huge part of that for me is this, what I call the triangle method. What I mean by that is when you get to a finished song, everything's recorded and it's time to mix. I've found over and over and over again, the songs that I feel, whether I recorded them or I'm mixing them for someone else, the ones that feel the most engaging, that have the most energy, that feel the most exciting and take me on a journey from start to finish are the ones that usually follow this triangle method. What do I mean? Well, I simply mean if you were to take a look at the session, zoom out to where you can see all the tracks, all the audio, and it fills up the screen. In general, I found it makes this shape, kind of an upside down right triangle. What I mean is the beginning of the song is right here, and as the song progresses, it gets bigger and bigger, meaning there are more tracks being added along the way from start to finish. Now, the one exception is a lot of times the intro to the song might be big, then it drops back for verse 1 and then builds. So maybe it's a weird triangle with a funky looking leg over here. But then after that, it usually follows this sort of triangular flow, meaning we're adding as we go. We start off small but interesting, and then we're adding instruments, adding parts, adding something. Doesn't have to be a huge number of things, but we're adding things as we go. Another way to think about this is every chorus, if you do a typical song that has 3 choruses, chorus 1, chorus 2, and then a final chorus. But the way I like to think about it is that final chorus is the biggest one. It's got the most stuff happening. It's over here on the far right-hand side of the triangle. The first chorus still needs to be good, still needs to be pretty big, but you need to leave some room to grow. And then second chorus needs to be different from the first chorus. If it sounds exactly like the first chorus, it's probably getting a little bit boring. So add something new for chorus 2. And then chorus 3 is where you just go all out and add lots of stuff. One point to make here, you're not just adding stuff for the sake of adding stuff. If you've got 2 guitars playing some power chord thing, adding 6 more guitars playing the same thing isn't really what I'm talking about. Sure, maybe that can work in some situations, but the point isn't to simply add for the sake of adding, but it's being strategic and creative about what to add when. A lot of musicians, when they're first starting out and they've got some competence and ability to play, the next step, the next stage of their evolution as a musician is knowing when not to play. The best guitar players I've played with, they'll hold out for whole sections of the song knowing that that's going to make it that much more impactful when they come back in. They kind of intuitively have learned this. Our job in the studio is to make that happen in the studio, which can be a lot more difficult, especially if you're on your own like we tend to be and you're trying to build out this production. So add this to your toolbox, think about this when you're producing, and it will get you better results, and you'll find that your productions are a lot more interesting and a lot more engaging. So all of this, I've got a new course coming out on production. I'll tell you more about it. I'll put a link in the description when it's ready. It'll be a few days. But in the meantime, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you like this approach? Do you use this approach? What has worked for you when it comes to production, specifically producing the song once you've started recording? Love to hear from you. Thank you so much as always, and I'll see you in the next video.